Hello, folks. If you are into watching movies, and I suppose most people in the world watch movies, you will be familiar with the following: Hollywood, Nollywood, Bollywood. These three are the largest film industries in the world. There is something unique that connects the three of them. One group of people have played very prominent roles in these three movie industries. They are the Hebrew people. You cannot talk about Hollywood without talking about the Jewish people. You cannot talk about Nollywood without talking about the Igbo people. You cannot talk about Bollywood without talking about the Jews of India. Folks, isn't this interesting? One people or three different groups of people that claim a common descent, all feature in three industries separated by oceans. India and Nigeria and the United States are worlds apart. But you find the Igbos, the Jewish people in America, the Jews of India featuring in this one business. Even a dunce should know that if this is coincidence, it is indeed a strange one. We will go to the next subject. Every Igbo, even the least intelligent, will be familiar with what we call buying and selling. The greatest traders throughout history are the Jewish people and the Igbo people. Interestingly, scholarship thinks that the Jewish people have been extremely good in buying and selling because of basically persecution. They were stopped from being landowners in Europe and the Arab world, and they were also stopped from mixing with the lowest of the low. The only thing they could do was to become middlemen, to buy and sell to the upper classes. Interestingly, similar factors push the Igbos into buying and selling, but there is something that scholarship misses. Even though these two groups were forced into this, however, they possess special skills to handle it. These skills they possess, I will tell you the secret. Among the Igbos, it is called Igbo Dibo. The average Igbo thinks it's simple to go to the house of an uncle, spend 7 years. Sometimes you will be mocked as okay store. Persevere for 7 years, receive slaps and insults occasionally from Madame and Oga, after which you will be settled. But what you've actually gone through is a tough university, and most peoples in the world are unable to go through this. But the Igbo people and the Jewish people are able to handle it because it is among the traditions that Chiukwu assigned to them at Mount Sinai. Do most Jews and most Igbos know about what I'm saying? No. Most Igbos and most Jews, I repeat, do not know about what I'm saying. Vis-a-vis this particular last subject, this is part of what the Christians call the Old Testament, and the Jews call the Tanakh, most Jews, most Christians would not have time to go through them the way I do. That is why I will discover things that most people will just be listening with mouths open. So, folks, this video is coming after a very important development in the life of these two nations. Obadiah Alliance taking off from where a lot of good people have not really stopped, but continuing what a lot of good people have been doing, bringing these two houses together, these two branches of one house, the house of Israel. That's what a lot of good people have been doing. The leadership of Kulanu. You cannot talk about Igbo Jewish unity without mentioning this group and its allies. No point in mentioning names of people who don't belong to Kulanu, but who have weighed in. Obadiah Alliance moved in, accelerated what has been going on since the past 20 to 30 years, bringing the Igbo people and the Jewish people together so that the Hebrew people, so that the people of Israel will become one again, sit down on one chair and talk about their shared future. That's what Obadiah Alliance did by constituting a Bedin which studied all the facts and brought out a ruling that the Igbos are descendants of the Israelites. Educated people from both sides of the divide have been looking at what this group came up with. Professor Peter Nabude of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University summed the ruling up in just one word: very academic, very well written. This man has been a scholar for over 40 years. Yirmiyahu Danzig is one of the few Jews who can beat their chests and say that they know something about Omenana. He has spoken. He said it is a fantastic job of work, very legal. But shall we rest on our oars? No. We will continue to work. I'll use this opportunity to express gratitude to a group that I'm most times very critical of: the Igbos that adhere to Judaism. These Igbos, this group of Igbos, which include the Venerable Obadiah Abai, took a look at the Igbo situation about 20 years ago and decided that the Igbos were not where the Igbos should be. They decided to go back to the Igbo religion. And they went into Rabbinic Judaism, which brings Igbos back to Menana. Igbo Jews, you have my word of thanks. You have been doing a good job, and I urge you to continue to do so. Get more involved in the Igbo community and tell every Igbo that comes your way that the Igbos have a religion that is called Omenana. Omenana is the mother religion of Judaism. Judaism is a daughter of Omenana. This done, I will go on and say why. In fact, I will repeat because I've been saying it in a lot of videos. Why this passion? Why this endless work? Why this restlessness? The facts are obvious to those with eyes. Igbos have jumped, lunged, entered one trouble after the other, simply because Igbos lost their way. The Fulani, the Hausa of Nigeria, know they have very strong connections to the Arab world, and they are where they should be, so they know how to negotiate the present and the future. The Igbos are not fully conscious and aware of this. So what it leads Igbos to are avoidable mistakes. And these mistakes have been costly. Even though the scholarly community, the academic community, and the media have thrived on injustice. By suppressing the second worst genocide in modern times, what happened to the Igbos in Biafra. But it happened. Everybody in the world that is over 60 today saw it on television. Millions of Igbos starving to death. This was avoidable. But it was not avoided because Igbos had forgotten or had begun to neglect their history. If Igbos had not begun to neglect their history, Igbos would have known that anti-Semitism would dog their footsteps. So it is very important for the Igbos to have it at the back of their minds, to have it at the front of their minds. We are Israelites. What other peoples will do, and it will not lead to problems. If we do half of that, millions of people will gang up against us. Everything that is coming out now have been reduced to books. What is left is for serious people to study. Igbos, this is about Osu. The Osu were auxiliary priests at the temple in Jerusalem. Read and come out and say that Remy is talking nonsense, if you are not persuaded by what you will find inside. Daniel Lees, a Swiss-Israeli anthropologist, surveyed Igbo history after a very rigorous PhD and said that it cannot be denied that Igbos have a connection to the Israelites. Reviewing this book, Professor Nz'r Igwe of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, told the Jewish world, your story cannot be complete without looking at the Igbo story too. By the way, Nz'r Igwe was a star student of Afikpo, who laid the foundation of the confusion that dogged these studies. But we have to look at Afikpo with some sympathy. Afikpo was the generation that saw the British and all the Europeans saying that the black man was an ape. So in anger, without doing any research into the culture of the Igbos, he began to write that Igbos have no connection to any group outside West Africa. So we have sympathy for him. It was Afrocentrism, which was organized to fight Eurocentrism. But mistakes do not cure mistakes. Igbos, read and understand more about Igbophobia and anti-Semitism. They are twins. I rode from afflicted Judah myself. I remember distinctly whom I was 2,000 years ago. As the Babylonians besieged Jerusalem, I did some things, and then moved into Egypt and progressed to where we call Igbo land today. Convincingly, I demonstrated that the Igbo civilization is the apogee of human civilization. No civilization surpassed what the Igbo people produced, even if after the depredations of the slave trade. I solved the riddle about DNA here. Before the academic world began to say that you cannot use DNA alone to know where a people came from, I had made the argument. But academia has turned around to accept my position that we cannot have a distinct Jewish DNA because the haplotype found in some Jewish communities are found in Arab communities, in Kurdish communities, in all communities in the Levant, and my own DNA is found in Ur of the Chaldeans, where Abraham was born. And by the way, I was born in Ur of Urokwe Ozobo, while Abraham was born in Ur of the Chaldeans. This talks about the two sisters, the Igbos and the Jews, that we are separated, that we see coming back together because of the efforts of good people. So, brothers and sisters, continue to do this holy work. It is a holy work because if Igbos and Jews, Samaritans and Karaites come together, we would begin to see traces of what Isaiah told us will happen in Isaiah 2. That Messianic era that has become a mirage will begin to become a reality in our times. And on this note, I say Shabbat Shalom, and I want to pause. Thank you.